Chapter 1. The beginning of mystery in the heart of Cairo, where bright lights embrace its ancient streets. Layla worked in her office in one of the city's crowded alleys. Her small library was filled with old and rare books, which she had loved passionately for years. The place was fragrant with the scent of old paper and leather, which gave Layla a sense of calm and stability. But today, there was something unusual in the air. While she was arranging some books, an elderly woman wearing a dark cloak entered, her face covered by the shadow of her hat. The sound of her light footsteps echoed as she approached Layla's desk. "Can I help you with something?" Layla asked, raising her eyes from the books. The elderly woman looked at her with mysterious eyes, then took out a small wooden box from her bag and presented it to Layla. "I need you to help me open this box. I think you have the talent to decipher its mysteries." Layla was surprised. She hadn't expected to meet anyone who would ask for her help with something like this. She took the box in her hands and began examining it. It was decorated with delicate and intricate engravings and had mysterious symbols on it. "Why do you need to open this box?" Layla asked, looking at the old woman hesitantly. "This box contains an ancient secret, and it must be discovered now. There is a powerful force seeking it, and we must be quick," the woman replied in a tone full of mystery. Layla furrowed her brows, but she felt a strange feeling, a mixture of curiosity and fear. "I will try to open it, but I need some time." The old woman left Layla with the box and left the office, leaving behind a fog of mystery. Layla began to work on deciphering the engravings, but with each attempt, she found herself more immersed in the mysterious puzzles that the box was hiding. The next morning, Kareem and Layla were at the airport, getting ready for their flight to Luxor. After hours of travel, their plane landed in Luxor, where they were greeted by the heat of the desert and the beauty of the stunning landscape. At Luxor Airport, they met a local guide named Sammy, who was familiar with the desert areas and their locations. Sammy was a middle-aged man, with a humble and professional appearance, and offered to help them on their search. "Welcome, I will be happy to help you on this trip," Sammy said, holding an old map and pointing to the location of the lost temple. "I have heard of this temple, but it is rare to find. We will have to follow the signs carefully." Sammy led Layla and Kareem to his off-road vehicle, and the journey began deeper into the desert. As they walked through the golden sands, Layla and Kareem began to feel confused and nervous, but they were determined to pursue their goal. The journey continued for hours, and as evening fell, the sky began to be decorated with stars, giving the landscape a serene beauty. The vehicle stopped near a rocky area, and they decided to set up a small camp to rest before continuing their search the next day. As they sat around the fire, they exchanged conversations about the secrets that the lost temple might reveal. Layla was thinking about the writings she found on the box, and Kareem was talking about the ancient legends he had read about. "If the temple contains the secrets we are looking for, we may face challenges and difficulties that we did not expect," Kareem said seriously. "Yes, but we are ready to take the risk," Layla answered, focusing on the dancing flames. "Everything so far indicates that we are on the right track." Days had passed since Layla received the mysterious box, and she had been working hard to decipher its symbols. During that time, she received a call from her old friend, Kareem, who was working as an investigative journalist. Kareem was investigating a series of ancient mysteries that interested him and decided to call Layla to help him. "Hello, Layla. I heard that you are working on something interesting. Can I come visit you?" Kareem said over the phone. Layla agreed and welcomed Kareem into her office. After exchanging greetings, Kareem began reviewing the research he was working on, and she showed him the box she had received. "I received this from an old woman, and I am working on opening it. It seems to contain an ancient secret, and I need help, Layla explained. Kareem examined the box carefully, trying to understand the symbols and inscriptions. This seems to contain an ancient symbol used in secret rituals. I have seen something similar in my research, but I was not sure what it was. Kareem and Layla decided to work together to solve the mystery. Layla began using the resources of her old library, while Kareem searched for information about ancient symbols and rituals. Both of them felt more nervous and curious with each new step. One day, while working, they discovered something amazing. One of the symbols pointed to an ancient hidden location in the Egyptian desert. The location linked to the box was known as the Temple of the Lost Horizon. They knew that this temple had been lost for centuries and was said to contain ancient secrets and supernatural powers. The next day, Layla, Kareem, and Sammy continued their journey through the desert, following the clues indicated by the box. The road was difficult and rugged, and they had to cross sand dunes and rocky terrain. After hours of walking, they reached an area containing a group of large rocks that appeared to form a natural entrance to an ancient vault. The rocks were covered in ancient symbols that matched those on the box. This is where the symbols point to, Kareem said as he pointed to the inscriptions on the rocks. Layla began to carefully examine the symbols, trying to match them with what she had found in her library. The symbols indicated a series of steps that needed to be taken to enter the temple. It seems we need to solve another puzzle to open the entrance for us, Layla said. They began to work together to solve the puzzles, each step pulling them deeper into the secrets. After a long time of hard work, they finally succeeded in opening the entrance to the temple. The entrance was narrow and dark, extending into the depths of the temple, from which only mysterious shadows appeared. They cautiously advanced through the narrow corridors, where the walls were covered in ancient inscriptions that told stories of myths and rituals. The atmosphere was filled with silence and awe, with the only sound being the echo of their footsteps. They arrived at a large room containing a huge statue of an ancient pharaoh, surrounded by altars and vials filled with treasures. In the middle of the room, there was a platform containing another chest, similar to the one they had brought with them. This seems to be the main chest, which may contain the biggest secret, Kareem said, approaching the platform. ##### Chapter 5 Unexpected Encounters. Layla and Kareem faced off with the armed group in the heart of the ancient temple. The dim light from the candles that lit the room danced on the walls, adding to the mysterious atmosphere. Tense eyes were anticipating this crucial moment, and the pressure was increasing with every minute. One of the armed men, who appeared to be the leader of the group, walked towards Layla and Kareem, his face covered with a black mask. "Do you think you can get the treasure without us letting you in?" he said in a frightening voice. Kareem responded boldly, "We are here to search for ancient secrets, not to steal. If you are searching for treasure, you may have different plans. We are searching for power, not ordinary treasure. What is in this temple can change the world," the leader said, pointing to the chest on the platform. The atmosphere turned tense as the two teams began to prepare to confront each other. Layla and Kareem were ready to fight to protect what they had discovered and to protect themselves. At a crucial moment, the confrontation broke out. The leader and his group members used advanced weapons to confront Layla and Kareem, while Layla and Kareem tried to defend themselves using the tools they had, such as sticks and primitive equipment. During the clash, Layla managed to gain an advantage using her intelligence and quick movements. She was able to dodge the attacks and deliver powerful blows, while Kareem faced the leader directly, trying to resolutely block the attacks. Kareem managed to injure the leader, which stopped the fight for a few moments. "We won't be able to win if we just keep fighting. We have to find a way out of here," Kareem said as he caught his breath. The armed group began to retreat after their leader was injured. Layla and Kareem tried to use the opportunity to retreat to a safe place inside the temple, while the armed group began to withdraw from the room, vowing revenge. After the armed group retreated, Layla and Kareem took a few minutes to catch their breath and assess the situation. The temple was large and complex, and there were many mysteries that had yet to be solved. "It looks like we need to move fast before they come back," Layla said, looking at the box on the platform. "If there was ever a time to find the secrets, it's now." They began examining the large box, finding that it had symbols similar to those on the smaller box they had brought with them. The symbols indicated a complex system of locks and puzzles that needed to be solved to unlock the box. "We'll work together to solve this mystery," Kareem said, taking a deep breath. "Make sure to watch for any changes in the temple, and I'll try to decipher the symbols." Layla began to carefully observe the inscriptions, while Kareem worked on deciphering the complex symbols. After hours of continuous work, they found that the box contained an additional layer of puzzles that required careful integration between the symbols and the inscriptions. Finally, after much effort, they opened the box and took out an old, wrapped scroll. The scroll contained ancient maps and illustrations that told a story about the temple and the secrets it held. "These maps might lead us to another location, perhaps a more important place," Kareem said, studying the maps. "It seems like there's a location under the temple, perhaps the real hiding place of the treasure." As they were preparing to move to the new location, they heard voices coming from afar. "It seems like the armed group is back. We have to hurry," Layla said, heading towards the exit.
As Layla and Kareem explored the hidden room, there was a palpable sense of pressure and tension. The secrets they discovered meant more than just treasures. They contained ancient powers that could affect the entire world. This book seems to contain powerful talismans related to extraordinary powers, Kareem said, slowly opening the book and reviewing its ancient texts. "If we understand these talismans correctly, we could discover ancient information about the temple." But before they could complete their search, they heard footsteps approaching the secret entrance. The armed group had returned, approaching faster than before. Layla and Kareem realized that time was not on their side. "We have to move quickly before they get to us," Layla said, picking up the book and putting it in her bag. "We have to get out of here as soon as possible." They took a secret path deep into the temple, avoiding as much as possible an encounter with the armed group. The dim lights from the torches reflected their shadows on the walls, adding to their sense of fear and anticipation. While trying to escape, they found themselves in a narrow passage leading to a small opening in the rocks. They quickly tried to open the opening, but there was strong resistance from the other side. "Sammy was with us. We should look for him. Maybe he can help us," Kareem said, scanning the surrounding passages. After a quick search, they found Sammy, who was hiding nearby. Sammy looked nervous, but he was determined to help them escape. "I saw them coming, and it seems they have more dangerous plans than I expected," Sammy said, looking at the passages anxiously. "I'll lead you to an alternate route." Sammy led Layla and Kareem to another secret passage leading outside, away from the eyes of the armed group. After an arduous journey through the secret passages, they finally emerged into the desert, away from immediate danger. Layla and Kareem arrived at their camp in the desert, exhausted but reassured by their successful escape. They prepared a simple dinner around the fire and began studying the book they had obtained from the temple. This book contains symbols and talismans that can be useful in understanding the ancient powers it speaks of. Karim said, examining the texts carefully. They began to flip through the pages, noticing that the book contained teachings on how to use talismans to control certain powers. The information was complex and filled with minute details about rituals that must be performed carefully. This book seems to explain how to use talismans to achieve certain goals. Layla said, turning the pages. If we understand these talismans correctly, we can access more important information. As they worked to understand the talismans, they remembered the warnings the leader had given. They realized that there were other forces searching for the book, and that they should be careful. We need to make sure this book is in safe hands. Karim said seriously. There may be others who want to use it for malicious purposes. They decided to take the book to scholars and archaeologists to interpret the spells and contents of the book. Their plan was to preserve the integrity of the book and use the information contained within it with caution. At the same time, they began preparing for their next journey, looking forward to passing on the discoveries to trusted sources who would help them understand more. As they prepared to leave the desert, emotions were strained between hope and defiance. Their adventure was beginning to turn into a journey filled with complex secrets and conflicts with unexpected forces. With the book in their hands, they were on the cusp of a new phase filled with questions that needed answers and dangers that needed to be faced. After leaving the desert, Layla and Karim returned to Cairo with the precious book, heading to the city's archaeological research center. Layla and Karim's plan was to deliver the book to experts specializing in ancient antiquities, who might be able to interpret the talismans and give them deeper insights into ancient powers. They arrived at the center the next morning and presented the book to Dr. Adele, one of the most prominent scholars in the field of ancient antiquities. Dr. Adele was known for his extensive experience in deciphering historical secrets. Thank you for bringing me this book. I will study it carefully, Dr. Adele said, as he received the book and began examining it. This book is written in an ancient language and with precise illustrations. It seems to contain valuable information. Dr. Adele spent several days analyzing the book, relying on his team of experts in the field of talismans and ancient texts. On the appointed day, he invited Layla and Karim to a special meeting to present the results of the analysis. The book contains ancient talismans related to hidden powers and secret knowledge. These talismans can be used to communicate with and control supernatural forces, but they also carry significant risks if not used carefully, Dr. Adele said, presenting the results of his analysis. Is there anything we can do to keep this information safe? Karim asked anxiously. Of course. I will store the book in a safe place, and I recommend further studies be conducted before we begin attempting to implement any of the talismans, Dr. Adele said. It is best to approach this matter with extreme caution. While Layla and Karim were relieved to have the book in safe hands, they had a feeling that the story was not over yet. There was a strong sense that the forces they were searching for might still threaten them, and that there were other characters who might seek out these secrets. After leaving the research center, Layla and Karim decided to take a break and catch their breath after their long adventure. Over the next few days, they reached out to some friends and family and began to get back to their normal lives. One day, while relaxing in one of their favorite cafes, they received an unexpected message from Dr. Adele. Layla and Karim, we have good and happy news. We have completed our studies on talismans, and we have found that they contain knowledge that can be useful to humanity. Dr. Adele wrote in his message. I would like to invite you to attend an international conference to share the results and research the potential applications of these talismans. They decided to accept the invitation and began preparing for the conference. They were excited to share their discoveries with the academic world and to highlight the importance of the discoveries they had made. On the day of the conference, Layla and Kareem were sitting in the conference hall, where scientists and experts were discussing the results and future possibilities. The atmosphere of the conference was filled with excitement and hope, and it was clear that the knowledge they had discovered could open new doors for thinking and development. As they listened to the discussions, they felt a sense of pride and accomplishment.
After leaving the desert, Layla and Kareem returned to Cairo with the precious book, heading to the city's archaeological research center. Layla and Kareem's plan was to deliver the book to experts specializing in ancient antiquities who might be able to interpret the talismans and give them deeper insights into ancient powers. They arrived at the center the next morning and presented the book to Dr. Adele, one of the most prominent scholars in the field of ancient antiquities. Dr. Adele was known for his extensive experience in deciphering historical secrets. "Thank you for bringing me this book. I will study it carefully," Dr. Adele said, as he received the book and began examining it. This book is written in an ancient language and with precise illustrations. It seems to contain valuable information. Dr. Adele spent several days analyzing the book, relying on his team of experts in the field of talismans and ancient texts. On the appointed day, he invited Layla and Kareem to a special meeting to present the results of the analysis. The book contains ancient talismans related to hidden powers and secret knowledge. These talismans can be used to communicate with and control supernatural forces, but they also carry significant risks if not used carefully, Dr. Adele said, presenting the results of his analysis. "Is there anything we can do to keep this information safe?" Kareem asked anxiously. "Of course. I will store the book in a safe place, and I recommend further studies be conducted before we begin attempting to implement any of the talismans," Dr. Adele said. "It is best to approach this matter with extreme caution." While Layla and Kareem were relieved to have the book in safe hands, they had a feeling that the story was not over yet. There was a strong sense that the forces they were searching for might still threaten them, and that there were other characters who might seek out these secrets. After leaving the research center, Layla and Kareem decided to take a break and catch their breath after their long adventure. Over the next few days, they reached out to some friends and family and began to get back to their normal lives. One day, while relaxing in one of their favorite cafes, they received an unexpected message from Dr. Adele. "Layla and Kareem, we have good and happy news. We have completed our studies on talismans, and we have found that they contain knowledge that can be useful to humanity," Dr. Adele wrote in his message. "I would like to invite you to attend an international conference to share the results and research the potential applications of these talismans." They decided to accept the invitation and began preparing for the conference. They were excited to share their discoveries with the academic world and to highlight the importance of the discoveries they had made. On the day of the conference, Layla and Kareem were sitting in the conference hall, where scientists and experts were discussing the results and future possibilities.
Chapter 10, A New Beginning. After leaving the research center, Layla and Kareem decided to take a break and catch their breath after their long adventure. Over the next few days, they reached out to some friends and family, and began to get back to their normal lives. One day, while relaxing in one of their favorite cafes, they received an unexpected message from Dr. Adele. "Layla and Kareem, we have good and happy news. We have completed our studies on talismans, and we have found that they contain knowledge that can be useful to humanity," Dr. Adele wrote in his message. "I would like to invite you to attend an international conference to share the results and research the potential applications of these talismans." They decided to accept the invitation and began preparing for the conference. They were excited to share their discoveries with the academic world, and to highlight the importance of the discoveries they had made. On the day of the conference, Layla and Kareem were sitting in the conference hall, where scientists and experts were discussing the results and future possibilities. The atmosphere of the conference was filled with excitement and hope, and it was clear that the knowledge they had discovered could open new doors for thinking and development. As they listened to the discussions, they felt proud and accomplished. Their journey had started as an adventure full of risks, but it had ended with success and discoveries that could contribute to the advancement of human knowledge. Finally, after the conference, Layla and Kareem celebrated their achievements and shared the beautiful moments with friends and family. It was a new beginning for their lives, full of hope and aspirations for future adventures. They prepared to continue making new discoveries, and to deal with the challenges that might arise in the future. Their adventure into the depths of secrets had taught them a lot, and made them ready to face anything that might come their way. Chapter 11: Unexpected developments. After the conference, Layla and Kareem's lives returned to normal, but they couldn't stop thinking about the mysteries they had discovered. The information they had obtained from the book had intrigued them, but they knew that there were many things that had yet to be revealed. One day, Layla received a mysterious email from an unknown source, carrying details about a new location that might be related to the secrets they were searching for. The message included a map to a remote location in Southeast Asia, with a short message: "There is something bigger waiting for you." This could be another source of information or a clue to more mysteries. Layla said to Kareem, showing him the message. "It is unknown who sent this message, but it seems that we may face a new adventure," Kareem said, examining the map carefully. They decided to investigate the matter, and began preparing for a new trip to the indicated location. The journey was long and difficult, as they crossed vast distances and faced great challenges to reach the mysterious location. Upon their arrival, they discovered that the site was an ancient temple, covered in dense vegetation and forests. The atmosphere was filled with mystery, and the site seemed to have been hidden from view for years.
With the information they had obtained from the Keepers of Secrets, Layla and Kareem were ready to explore the new location indicated on the map. The map pointed to a remote location deep in the tropical forests of South America, where it was believed that there were talismans and secrets that had not yet been discovered. After preparing their equipment and planning carefully, they began their journey into the tropical forests, where they faced new challenges such as extreme heat, high humidity, and rugged terrain. They used modern navigation techniques and previous maps to explore unfamiliar passages. They finally arrived at a location believed to be the entrance to a new underground location. The entrance was a large cave hidden behind a large waterfall. They entered the cave carefully and found themselves in a dark and long passage leading deep into the earth. The atmosphere here is completely different from what we lived in before, Layla said, walking slowly with the light of the lamps. This place seems to have a mysterious atmosphere. Deep inside the cave, they discovered a large room with walls covered in engravings and illustrations. There was also a large statue in the center of the room, believed to represent an important historical figure. They began examining the inscriptions on the walls, which seemed to indicate ancient talismans and secrets. They discovered that the inscriptions told a story about a hidden power that had been preserved by an ancient civilization, and that this power could be the key to understanding the secrets they were searching for. These drawings seemed to illustrate how talismans were used to achieve a balance between natural and spiritual forces, Kareem said, studying the drawings in detail. As they were examining the room, they heard footsteps coming from afar. They knew that there was a danger that might threaten them, and they had to be careful. Chapter 12: The final revelation as they were exploring the ancient temple, they found a secret entrance behind a small waterfall, leading to a dark room filled with ancient statues and mysterious icons. There was a strong feeling that this room held a great secret. This seems to be the place we were looking for, Kareem said, examining the inscriptions on the walls. They began exploring the room, examining the ancient symbols that were on the walls. As they studied the inscriptions, they discovered that there was another ancient map that pointed to an unknown location beneath the temple. This map seems to lead to a place deeper beneath the temple, Layla said, studying the map. Following the instructions on the map, they arrived at a huge underground room that contained a large chest surrounded by golden inscriptions. The chest seemed to contain a key element in uncovering the final secrets. Carefully opening the chest, they found an ancient stone tablet inside that contained teachings and details about ancient powers. The information Layla and Kareem found explained how the powers revealed in the book they had found earlier could be used. "This is the item we've been looking for all along," Kareem said, looking at the stone tablet. "It seems the information we've gotten before was just the beginning." As they were studying the stone tablet, a team of local researchers who had been monitoring the site arrived. They began exchanging information with Layla and Kareem, explaining that the site held historical secrets dating back thousands of years, and that the stone tablet was the key to understanding those secrets. With their new discoveries, Layla and Kareem realized that their journey was far from over. There was much more to uncover, and their adventure had entered a new phase full of possibilities. As they prepared to return home and share their discoveries with the world, they had a strong sense that they were about to begin a new chapter in their journey, filled with new challenges and opportunities. Their adventure had proven to be more complex than they anticipated, but it was also a source of inspiration and discovery. With the stone tablet in hand, Layla and Kareem were ready to face whatever challenges might come their way and continue their journey deeper into the mysteries. Layla and Kareem returned to Cairo, where the stone tablet allowed them to gain a deeper understanding of the secrets they had been chasing. The media began to pay attention to their discoveries, and people began to talk about ancient secrets and hidden powers. As they prepared to publish the results of their research, they received an unexpected invitation from an international research organization, asking them to attend a special conference to discuss their discoveries with scientists from around the world. Upon arriving at the conference, they discovered that there was a great deal of controversy surrounding the discoveries they had made. There were various theories about how ancient powers had affected humanity, and the discussion had attracted the interest of many parties. During the conference, they were presented with new information about a secret group called the Keepers of the Secrets, an organization that believed it was responsible for protecting ancient knowledge from falling into the wrong hands. There was evidence that the Keepers of the Secrets might be connected to mysterious events related to the temple they had discovered. "It seems that there is another group seeking to preserve these secrets, and perhaps they have special intentions," Kareem said, speaking with Layla after the conference had ended. They decided to search for the Keepers of Secrets to learn more about them. They conducted secret investigations and gathered information about the organization. They discovered that the Keepers of Secrets lived in an isolated community in the Himalayas, and they believed that they held the keys to a deeper understanding of ancient powers. Layla and Kareem prepared for a new journey to the Himalayas, a journey full of dangers and challenges. They hired local guides and scientists to help them navigate to the location where they believed the Keepers of Secrets lived. Climbing towering mountains and crossing glaciers, the journey was arduous and exhausting. After days of journeying, they finally reached the community of the Keepers of Secrets. The community was isolated in a valley surrounded by mountains, and it looked like it was centuries old. The architecture featured traditional buildings and carvings that told stories about their history and secrets. After the confrontation in the cave, Layla and Kareem returned to Cairo, carrying with them new discoveries about ancient powers. But they did not rest for long, as they received new signals about the existence of a lost continent believed to contain ancient secrets that have not yet been discovered. According to ancient maps and historical texts, this continent is located in an unknown area between the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. While searching through ancient archives, they found documents indicating the existence of remains of an ancient civilization on this lost continent. The information they obtained from the Keepers of Secrets verified the authenticity of these documents, and they decided to head there to explore it. They arrived at a site that they believed was the entrance to the lost continent. The journey there was full of challenges, as they faced severe sea storms and high waves. But they held on to hope and continued the journey despite the dangers. Upon their arrival, they discovered that the continent was full of beautiful landscapes and ancient ruins. There was evidence of an ancient advanced civilization, with temples and complex networks of tunnels. As they explored the ruins, they came across an underground room containing a massive map depicting the entire lost continent. There was a system of interlocking tunnels and mysterious symbols that indicated important locations. This map shows a complex underground system that may have something to do with ancient energies, Kareem said, examining the fine details of the map. But as they reviewed the information, they sensed another danger. A group of rival researchers had also arrived on the lost continent, seeking the same secrets they were looking for. The race against time began, as Layla and Kareem tried to uncover new secrets before the rival researchers could access the important information. They used the map they found to locate tunnels that held ancient secrets. As they explored the tunnels, they discovered a room containing a massive statue and a stone base engraved with ancient inscriptions. The statue represented a historical figure known in ancient mythology. There were also texts explaining how to activate the powers of ancient energy. But before they could fully analyze the texts, rival researchers arrived at the site and began trying to take control of the area. Events developed into a fierce conflict between Layla and Kareem on one side, and the rival researchers on the other. When Layla and Kareem returned to Cairo, they decided to focus on their research on the lost continent. However, while going through the documents and notes, they discovered information indicating the presence of dark artifacts that may be of a hidden and powerful nature. These items carried negative effects that could lead to catastrophic events if not handled with caution. They found evidence of an ancient book believed to contain dark spells and information on how to use powers that could lead to dangerous outcomes. The book had been missing for centuries, but one of the documents they obtained indicated that it may be hidden in a remote location. With the information they gathered, they identified a location believed to be the book's hideout. This time, it was in a remote area in North Africa in the heart of a vast desert. They decided to head there to explore the site and avoid any potential dangers. They arrived at the site and found an entrance to a deep underground cave. The entrance was covered in mysterious inscriptions that indicated the presence of great danger. Using their equipment to explore the interior, they found the book buried in a secret room. Opening the book, they felt a cold air sweeping through the place. The pages were filled with dark talismans and details about hidden forces that could have negative effects on the world. It seems that this book contains information that could be dangerous if not handled with care, Kareem said worriedly. As they studied the book, they sensed another threat. Strange phenomena began to occur, such as temperature fluctuations and a strange light appearing in the caves. After facing great challenges and dealing with dark forces, Layla and Kareem returned to Cairo to begin a new chapter in their lives. Their adventures had given them new insights into ancient powers and hidden secrets, but they had also taught them the importance of caution and balance. They decided that it was time to share their discoveries with the world. So they began organizing an international conference to showcase the results of their research and the outcomes of their adventures. Their invitation was open to scientists, researchers, and those interested in the ancient world and hidden powers. The goal of the conference was to exchange knowledge and encourage the academic and scientific community to come up with safe ways to use this knowledge. At the conference, Layla and Kareem spoke about their discoveries and the details of their journeys, including how to deal with ancient powers and the dangers they faced. They provided evidence on how to use the information discovered in a responsible and safe manner. "We have learned a lot from these journeys," Kareem said during his speech. "Our goal now is to share this knowledge with you to avoid any danger that may result from its misuse." Their lectures were highly acclaimed by the audience, and their studies and research began to gain international attention and recognition. Their work became an important reference in the field of ancient research and hidden energy. After the conference, Layla and Kareem decided to return to their daily lives, but with a commitment to continue research and learning. They realized that their adventures may have ended, but the journey towards understanding the secrets of the universe was not yet over. Over time, Layla and Kareem found peace in their lives, and their professional and personal dreams were realized. They now had a strong scientific base and a respected reputation in their field, and they were satisfied that they had contributed to expanding humanity's understanding of ancient secrets. In the end, their adventures have proven that knowledge and power come with responsibility.